Hi, this is Lewis from SoFly, and in this video I'm going to show you how to import images using WPL import. So I will upload my XML file, which contains many properties which have many images. Continue to step 2, continue to step 3. It doesn't matter what we set for the title right now, because we only care about importing the images. I'll just set the description quickly. And now for importing images. First, open the images section. And the easiest way to import images is to simply specify the URL to the image you want to import. WPL import will download the image from this URL, put it in your media gallery, and link it to your post. So to do one image, just drag one image URL over, hit preview and test. That way you'll know the image URL is in fact valid. You can see if it is a real image. If you click test, WPL import will make sure it can really download the image from this URL and save it to your server, and it'll show you how long it takes as well. So that's how to do one image. Now if you want to do two images, just enter multiple URLs. You can either separate them with a comma, or you can enter them, or you can enter them one per line. And when you're dragging and dropping, make sure you're dragging the element that contains the full URL to the image. See, if I drag an image over, nothing would happen because the image URL is actually inside the URL element, not the image element. So make sure you're dragging the correct element over, the one that's containing the image URL. So here we've got 3 image URLs. I can preview that. In WPL import, we'll set the first image to the featured image if this box is checked, and then import the remaining images to the product gallery or the listing gallery or post gallery or whatever you're importing to. So let's run this import now. Let's only run it with a few records though. Let's just do records 1 through 5 so we don't have to wait for WPL import to download all these images. So let's run the import. So take maybe 30 seconds, download 15 images, maybe a minute. Okay, the import is now complete. Let's take a look at our property listings. Here are the images. Let's view one of these on the front end, and you can see it's imported the first image and then the second and third to this theme's gallery as well. So that's level 1, importing images. Now let's move on to level 2. Okay, so for level 2, I'm importing a CSV file containing some WooCommerce products, and it has multiple images stored in one column. So here we have one column called image, but it has 1, 2, 3. It has many image URLs in this one column. So how do we separate these and import them? If we just drag this to the image URLs box and hit preview, it won't work, right? It tries to download the image from this URL. This isn't a real URL. If we hit test, it'll try to download, and it won't work. So what's going on here? Well, the images are all separated with the separator character, the pipe, right here. So what do we do to get WPL import to automatically separate these up into their individual URLs? Just change the separator character right here to a pipe. And now when we hit preview, WPL import detects all the image URLs and finds all of the images, except what's going on here? Well, our data feed, our CSV file references this image right here, 8 and 9, and the ones ending in 8 and 9. They're not real images. See, if we open this in our browser, page not found, no image loads. Same goes for image 9. So if the images you are trying to import aren't actually working, often the reason is because they aren't actually valid images. So always click preview and make sure. All right, let's move on to level 3 now. Okay, so for level 3, let's say we have the image file names, but we don't actually have the full URLs to the image in our file, and the images are online. So in this case, these URL elements, they don't really contain the full URL. All we have is just the name of the image file. So if I put this right here, WPL import doesn't know where to look for it. So let's say you got a zip file of all your images and you uploaded it to your web server. That's the easiest way. You can just create a folder on your server called images. I'm on my local host right now, but you could FTP these to your server And I put all the images that go with this feed right here, this XML file, I put them in an images file on my server or local host. So what we want to do is combine this URL right here, this part of the URL, this folder name, with the file name, like this, to get the full URL. So now when we preview it, it combines URL with the text we entered and generates the correct URL to the images. And if we wanted to do multiple images, we would just enter this many times, and then we just drag each image URL in front of the folder name containing the images. We just need to do 3, preview, and that's how that looks. Okay, let's move on to level 4. Okay, so level 4, that's using images that are actually already uploaded to your server. So you're only going to specify the file name, not the URL. And this isn't really any harder to do. It just means you have to go through the extra step of FTPing these images to the appropriate folder. WP content, uploads, WPL import, files. So I'm on my local host, but I'll do it now just so you can see it. Anyway, so I have all these images. I'm going to copy them, all 1,380. And then I'll go to the root folder of my site, WP content, uploads, WPL import, files, and paste the images there. So on your server, you would just FTP them. Probably going to pause the video and come back in a minute once those 1380 copy. There we go. Okay, so now you'll notice that we've selected, instead of downloaded images hosted elsewhere, use images currently uploaded in this folder. So we specify, all we have to do now is specify the file name of the image and preview. WP all import will get the image from this path. And the image really does exist at that path. There it is right there. For record 2, 3. And the test feature in this case will just make sure the image can be retrieved and put in the WordPress media gallery. So level 4, not really any harder than level 3, just different. And now let's move on to level 5, looping through a variable number of images using a for each loop. So in this feed, you'll notice that some records, record number 3 has 10 images, and record number 4 has 10 images, and record number 1 has only 6 images. So how do we deal with a variable number of images per record? Well, we use what's called a for each loop. So I'll set up an example for each loop here now. And we have more detailed documentation on this as well, because there are a lot of things you can use it for, not just image imports. So first thing you want to do is look for the parent element that contains all the images. So in that case, that's images. Then you want to look for the child elements that are all similar to each other. In this case, image, image, image. This is the parent, these are the children, all the siblings. So click and drag one of the siblings over and remove the ones, because we don't just want to import the first image that's a child of images, we want to import all of them. Then for each images slash image, and we're going to, basically this means WPL import's going to loop through each image that's a child of images, and then we can output data that's from image. So if we wanted to output the ID, we would go like this and remove the extraneous image slash image. Again, we don't need it, and just put @ID. In this case, we want the URL. So to do that, just drag and drop URL over, and then remove everything except URL. And to end the for each loop, put in end for each. Now images should be 1 per line, so we add a new line right here, or we can separate them with a comma, and then we don't need a new line. Hitting preview, WPL import loops through each file name. You'll notice that there's one extra without an image name. That's because we ended with a comma. That's okay though. WPL import will just ignore any blank image name. And now you can see for 1, we found 6 image files. Record 2, more than 6. Record 3, many more. So as you can see, it's looping through all the different images with the for each loop. So that's level 5. And then let's just go over a couple of other things. We have this setting here. If no images are downloaded successfully, create the entry as a draft. That way you don't end up publishing content on your site with broken images in case your feed supplier put in bad image URLs. And then we have SEO and advanced options. This is for importing to image metadata. So basically what that is title, caption, alt text, and description. So let's say we wanted to set the image title to, I don't know, this for some reason for SEO purposes. It'll link the first title with the first image, the second title with the second images, second image, third, and so on. So we would just enter, if we wanted to have 6 captions, one for all 6 images, we just enter 6 lines here. Same for caption, alt text, and description. So that's basically everything you need to know about importing images with WPL import.